What's up, guys? Stephen One Boy Thompson.
It's the IBF champion, Earl Smith Jr.
This is Cynthia Champion.
Hi, this is Michaela Mayer.
This is Derek the Black Beast Slows.
This Daniel Miracle Man Jacob. Shout out to Kendrick and Matt.
You're on the trip.
And you're listening to
the Slip and Dip podcast
With your boy Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
What is up, people? Welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, episode number 47, coming at you on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everyone out there. Man, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. Kendrick, how you feeling, my man?
Get ready to go to NYC. Be my fourth or fifth time in the last year and a half. It's crazy. So I'm getting, it's like you never been to the. We went to Brooklyn last year. Yeah. Brooklyn, but you know how it is when you go to the East Coast. You got to kind of get your mind with the whole time thing and taking trains and subways. I mean, down south, he's just getting my car and going. I gotta take both all week.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier when it's coming from Jersey going to MSG. I get dropped off right at Penn Station, and I don't have to touch the subway. But now I gotta take the train, get off the train, get on the subway, go to Barclays, and all that craziness and tomfoolery.
Hey, it's a lot easier to travel West Coast because you gain a couple hours. East Coast, you're losing 2 hours every time.
But I got that's not breaking, but I got some factual news.
Let's hear it.
I'm gonna be very clear. I wish I had some sunglasses.
Wait, what's this news about before you get there?
Triple G Canelo.
Okay, hold on, pause. Hold that thought. Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today, we do have Stephen Thompson, along with a special guest, Chris Weidman, who breaks some news for us, like legit break some news for us, and Neil Magny, and our boy Danny Austin. So those are the guests on today's show, and you guys are really going to enjoy it. We got half of the main event for UFC Liverpool, half of the co-main event for UFC Liverpool, so we're ahead of the game on these, and they're great interviews, so you guys are really going to enjoy them. Now, let's hear what you got, Kendrick, about this Triple G Canelo.
I'll start this with saying, if I had some sunglasses on, I'd take them off and be real serious. I'm looking right into the camera. All you boxing people that want to at me, want to inbox me, and all these little Facebook groups, I know my shit. And what I'm about to tell you will be true in 2 to 3 weeks. Senor Canelo Alvarez will be getting a suspension sometime, whatever that is, like April 18th, they pushed it back or whatever. Mm-hmm. Whatever the hearing is, it will officially postpone Triple G Canelo because it won't be happening May 5th. He will, I don't know, it'll be 60 days. It could be longer. It's gonna be at least 6 months, if not longer. I think it'll be 6 months, and they fight in September. But the narrative to the story is they will not be fighting May 5th. I told you last week. I got confirmation this week, and I put it on my paycheck that they will not be fighting May 5th in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, that's
coming from direct. This is coming from direct sources from Canelo's legal counsel. I'm not even talking to Canelo and De La Hoya. I'm talking to the people sitting at the table doing the negotiating.
Yeah, that's it's crazy that people are still like kind of ignoring the news that we have out there. That it's like there's all signs point to this not happening on May 5th. So why are people still trying to say, oh, it's gonna? I mean, I get you want it to still happen, but like just look at the facts of how this thing is playing out. It's not going that way.
How about this, Matt? So far, when it comes to breaking news on this show, what am I batting?
I believe 1,000 so far.
Just saying, we put the guarantee seal. It's happened. We don't do that. We not like other people on other shows. Check the archives, as my boy Matt would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely exciting. I mean, not really exciting, but it's big news. I guess I was kind of trying to lead into, one of the things I was hoping that would be more exciting that happened on Saturday was that Anthony Joshua fight. It was a letdown in a lot of ways, and not because of the competitors involved, but more so because of the referee.
You're doing the most, bro.
Referee, I don't even know the guy's name. The fact that this guy kept stepping in to the fight, for those that didn't see the Anthony Joshua fight this past weekend against Parker, it was a good fight, but every time action started getting heated, the ref stepped in.
Bring it up, guys. Bring it up.
I told Kendrick, I was like, this dude had to have money on the fight going the distance. He had to. That was the only reason. That was the only reason. He was like he almost got. Joshua was in mid throwing an uppercut and this dude steps in. Like, what are you doing?
And then check me out. He's getting hit, and all of a sudden he stops it because his tape was hanging. Well, they hung for like 2 minutes of the round. Like, and here's the kicker. They only had like 20 seconds left. Like, you couldn't wait 20 seconds and let them do that in between rounds.
Right. It's.
You know what that says, man?
What?
If our opener for our intro goes over there, he has to knock him out. There's no way he's winning the decision. No way. 0% chance. And then Joshua, we already know this is something that he don't want to fight. Well, I was saying he want to write history. Who the hell are you? Well, it's about time that the Americans come over here. We're going to start some new stuff. So you just going to reinvent the wheel. Ain't never stepped foot over here in America. Ain't never remotely put yourself in a situation to fight in Vegas. But you're going to try to make basically the American champ go over there. It don't work that way.
I mean, I'm not mad at the idea of it. I'm not mad at the idea of it at all. I mean, nothing wrong with wanting to be that guy that changed the face of the game a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Now, I would say this. If Joshua did go and knock out Parker, like in I don't know, the 5th round or so,
you call that shot.
Then you call that shot a lot more with a lot more conviction. Then a lot more people be like, I mean, we might have to do it, but I mean, the fight was a little bit of a letdown, man. And like I said, a lot of it had to do with the referees, constant interactions with the fighters, and it was kind of spoiled the product a little bit, but. At the very least, we definitely have that matchup on tap. It's just when will they get it done and where will it take place? So I definitely want to see it. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Anthony Joshua. Let's see it happen, man, by the end of 2018.
He might come on next week, man. We're working behind the scenes.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, no doubt. Obviously, breaking news in the world of MMA today, guys. I'm glad this happened before we recorded tonight. But obviously, as you know, today is April 1st, April Fool's Day. Kendrick got bamboozled a little bit on an April Fool's joke.
He don't say that.
Hey,
I got DM'd though. I wasn't going off the official feed.
He got DM'd a little bamboozle, and I won't even say what it was because it was just that ridiculous. But obviously the big breaking news. UFC 223 affecting this weekend's card coming up. Tony Ferguson, Khabib, Nurmagomedov, once again is not happening, and it's for real, folks. It's for real. The 4th time that this fight has tried to get together. The first time was back in 2015, December 2015, at the Tough 22 finale. The second time was UFC on Fox 19 in April of 2016 or 2016. Yeah, 2016. Third time, when I was there. When I was there, when we were both out there at UFC 209. The day before the fight, day of the fight, Khabib has to pull out due to weight cut complications. And now, April 7th, it's not happening, 2018, due to Tony Ferguson injuring himself doing media obligations. Not when he was not when he was kicking steel poles on social media. When he was doing media obligations. And now we have this incredible. It was like a roller coaster of emotions for him, because I'm seeing on Twitter Brett Okamoto tweets out, "I promise you guys this is not April Fool's joke. The fight's off." But almost in the same breath he's like, "Hey, but guess what? Max Holloway's stepping in." So it's like you want to be mad, but then it's like, damn, this is a good-ass replacement right here. And we could have a double champ at the end of all of it. A lot of different things to take away, but, at least at the end of the day, we have it. But I got to give a shout-out to Dave Doyle for just tweeting this out as we're live here on air. It begs the question, what if Khabib misses weight again? What? Oh my god. There's so many different. This is just a whole cluster, man. It's a whole cluster. No thoughts on it?
Well, here, if he misses weight.
Nah, just the whole deal. I mean, obviously, we're about to talk to Danny about it.
I wasn't one of those, like, I'm going out there for this shit, so I can't say that. I'm cool with the fight, but to me, Max Holloway has a free shot. Free shot. He loses, hey, man, he wasn't training. Oh, that's why they got weight classes. He wouldn't even supposed to have been in that fight. He wins, to me, he goes in the top two. It'd be arguable. I know Mighty Mouse got the belts, but look at his competition. He would have beaten to get this. And then, so he had two division champion simultaneous, and that rematch with Conor would be almost signed, sealed, and delivered, and he would have the biggest payday of his life. Like he could be if he wins on next Saturday, this man will be he probably done fighting by the time he's 30.
Yeah.
There won't be no reason to fight.
Absolutely.
Like, what else could he do? And he's not for him to be only 25. He'd be a surefire UFC Hall of Famer by some crazy performance on Saturday night. Surefire. He's trending that way, but things can happen. If he wins Saturday, he would have to win. He could be like BJ Penn the rest of his career and not win a fight. He'd still be surefire. Yeah, that's how big a deal it is when you look at it from a historic perspective. And if he don't win, it'll be a loss of his record, but it won't be nothing like it'd be like a win loss. To me, it's a win loss for him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy's already a legend in my book, and especially for taking up this plot. I mean, no, he's a legend in my book for sure. I mean, he's a champion. Took out Jose Aldo twice,
he's a champion,
convincingly.
not a legend.
He is a legend in my book.
He's a champion.
He's a legend, and he's laying his 12-fight win streak on the line for this too. Man, come on, bro. On a week's notice, legendary stuff right here. You don't get this out of most guys. Most guys would be like, I don't have enough time. I'm not prepared. I mean, listen, I get this is like legendary stuff, man. Like Anderson Silva stepping in against Daniel Cormier on 48 hours notice. That stuff legends do. This is a first, it's not the first step, but this is stuff that legends of the sport do.
See, and I was there. You know, Anderson, my guy. I got my first one-on-one with him after that fight. So, hey, I have to out to Anderson. If you want to come on the show, please holler at your boy, his people, and your manager needs to stop lying. But that's a whole other story. Oh, wow. Well, shots to Ed Soares. What? What is that about? Oh, she want to validate what I know.
You're not talking about Ed Soares. Who are you talking about?
No. Oh, she tries to sit there, the lady that's doing his manager now, tries to sit there and say, all things go to Ed. Ed is not his manager no more. You are, lady. That's how shady she is. But you prove the point. But we're not going to mention her. She's a non-factor.
Okay. All right. We'll hop off of it. We'll hop off of that.
But you gotta win. Well, you gotta win. You gotta be competitive. Like, I can't call it legendary that he came on DC because they didn't fight for the belt, and he didn't look like a guy that just came off his couch. But it wasn't competitive. Other than the last 3 minutes of the third round when he caught him on that two-piece and stunned the shit out of DC, the fight was not a competitive fight. So he has to be competitive for it to be legendary. No. Okay,
Anderson, no way. Pause. Anderson was already a legend before that.
I'm talking about
Anderson was a legend way before that.
He was a legend, but you're talking about legendary shit. It's different. That wasn't that he was legend. Yeah, I know. That's not fun. I'm like talking about Nate Diaz. If Nate Diaz doesn't beat Conor, that's not legendary shit. That's just another fight.
Well, yeah. Great. So I mean, I don't get what you're saying here.
You said he'd be doing some legendary stuff. He has to be super competitive or win for it to be legendary.
I don't agree with that.
I agree with that. That's because about it. Anderson was a legend before he was the GOAT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait.
When he beat Dirty, he was the GOAT then. But for it to be legendary, you got to be competitive or to be win the fight.
I mean,
that was not a competitive fight against DC.
It was though, because he forced DC to resort to his wrestling because when he had him hurt. Before that, yeah, DC was getting the best of him, but
I never seen a fight that's 30-27. That was considered close.
There's a few of them, definitely. There's a lot of fights that are 30-27s that are damn good fights. But yeah, anyways, let's hop into our interviews, man. We got first up, we got a few minutes with Danny talking about obviously UFC 223, what's going down this weekend. Since you guys will both be out there covering the fights and getting some good stuff, good content. Looking forward to what you guys produce at Media Day and the press conference and things like that. So we'll talk to Danny for just a few minutes, and then we will have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, half of the main event of UFC Liverpool, current number 1 welterweight in the world, taking on number 7 Darren Till in the first event out there in Liverpool. And Stephen also has with him a special guest and a former middleweight champion of the world, Chris Weidman, who will deliver some breaking news. And after that, we will talk to Neil Magny, who is in the co-main event of UFC Liverpool, currently ranked number 9 in the same division, welterweight, against number 13, Gunnar Nelson. So we will talk to both of those gentlemen about those fights and how their preparation is getting started for those. Those go down on May 27th, so coming up soon. But yeah, let's hop into those. Anything else you want to get into before we get these interviews? And
hey, man, we're just going the show, man, building off the momentum, man. Today was a unscripted, fun day. Hope everybody enjoyed the podcast.
yeah.
Episode 47, holding it down. Almost cut on the year anniversary. People thought we were just two brothers just want to talk about fighting and be cool. No, we growing the show up in here. Help us do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys out there listening, follow the show. Give us some likes and some comments and some ratings, some reviews on iTunes, YouTube. Subscribe, please. If you're on YouTube, you obviously see all the handles on the screen there for you. But please like and subscribe. At Slip and Dip Podcast on Twitter. Kendrick is at Kendrick Johnso on Twitter. I am at Mr. M. Wells Art. Follow us on Twitter. Follow the show on YouTube, Spreaker, Instagram, iTunes, SoundCloud. We're all over the place. So give us a follow, like, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. We want to hear from you. But let's get into these interviews now. First up, once again, Danny Austin with Post Media in Canada, followed up by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and then Neil Magny. Enjoy the show, guys. And now joining us on the Slip and Dip podcast is our good friend Danny Austin out there in Canada, who will be joining Kendrick out there in Brooklyn for UFC 223. But there is some major news today, and no, it was not an April Fool's joke. You guys already know what it is by now. But once again, for the 4th time, Tony Ferguson and Khabib will not be happening. But we do have an intriguing replacement fight. Danny, what was your immediate reaction when you saw this hit the newswire today, man?
I'm not mad at it, man. Like, look, did you believe that this fight was ever going to happen? I never believed that this fight was going to happen. I want to see Tony and Khabib fight more than probably any fight on the entire UFC roster, and I'm not messing around, but, like, there is a part of me that I understand why people are disappointed and angry, but if you're like, yo, Max Holloway is fighting Khabib, and we might get a rematch, which I never thought we were going to get. I am so fucking pumped for the idea that Max might get another shot at Conor because I think he would beat him. Like, I love this is the best case scenario for the worst case scenario. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's crazy because I agree with you. I was one of those people. I was like, I don't want to hear any news about the fight until they're actually in the cage together, being Tony and Khabib. But hey, once again, it falls apart. But even more shocking, like equally as shocking, that kind of took the sting away, was the fact that they immediately said at the same time Max Holloway stepping in. So I think that was like,
oh my God, can you imagine that on Friday night we'd heard that the fight was off?
Yeah.
And then like me and Kendrick got to be justifying to our bosses why we're still going to Brooklyn, all this. Like, no, like as reporters, they did the job for us. They just gave us a fucking sick fight, and like I'm into it, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, look, this is a fight that I never dreamed of seeing, and I love it. And I'm not like doing the UFC's work. I just like, these are two of my favorite, most intriguing fighters. I am hoping that Max has been training a little bit. Like, I've heard some stuff about his ankle. I've heard that he's like, been in a boot for a little while. I just hope that he's been training, because I would love to see him. His takedown defense is absolutely disgusting. And like, I will say this, I genuinely believe that what he did to Jose Aldo twice was cooler than what I saw Conor do. Conor hit him with a good shot.
right.
Beat Aldo over and over again. Like, he beat him on every exchange. I love it. I cannot wait for this fight. And it sucks because I am bummed. And I get why people are upset, but I'm just like talking as a fight fan. Like, hell yeah, Max Holloway, Khabib, man. Like, that's a fucking great fight.
Yeah. Kendrick, what was your reaction, man? You over there being a little quiet about it. But what did you think? Were you as excited or Like, hey, at least this is a damn good replacement fight.
Yeah, that's a good replacement fight because I'm always on the knowledge. That's why they got weight classes.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the thing, right? Like, Danny, like that takedown defense, is it going to translate?
But same thing, though, Max will, whatchamacallit, Max definitely, it's like a free shot for him. He lose, nobody going to be like, oh, he's overrated. He wins, he could easily say he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in UFC. Easily.
All right.
It would be a major debate between him and Mighty Mouse then.
Let's be real. We all know what Max's next fight was at 145, right? It was a guy who could probably fight at 165, no problem. He was going to have to fight a bigger guy anyways. He's coming in with a little bit more weight. I believe in Max. I'm not saying he's going to win, but like I'm saying the difference is not that big. Like Max could easily fight at 155. You know, if stuff had gone badly for him, we would almost expect him to do that. And Brian Ortega probably shouldn't fight at 145, and that was his next fight for Max. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, I think that right now, like, it's a best case scenario, and we're all bummed, but I don't think any of us should be, like, crying into our beers tonight.
Hey, Danny, and this for you too, man, because y'all Twitter followers, I'm literally looking on Nate Diaz's Instagram, his Twitter, and he's like, LOL, these guys can't even make it to war. And then just 5 minutes ago, he said they winging this whole shit with a laughing emoji.
All right, look, I don't want to like get in the fucking 209s, crosshairs or nothing. But I'm sorry, man, you haven't fought since August of 2016, so don't come talking. Like, I haven't fought either. I'm not like pretending, but Max is stepping up. Tony did take the Kevin Lee fight. You know, there's a lot to be excited about right now, and ultimately, for me, we're still seeing progress. I got one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that part of the reason why Frankie accepted the Cub fight was to prove that his head was all right, so that he can step in for Khabib, and we're just getting the headliner from last month this month, but for the lightweight?
I like that theory. I like it.
I don't actually believe it, but I kind of believe it.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of different names that they could have tried to throw in there, at the last minute. I'm sure Kevin Lee would have stepped in if he got asked. I'm sure there's a bunch of different lightweight guys. I'm sure James Vick would have stepped in. I'm sure that there's guys that would have been like, oh yeah, I'm taking this on a week's notice.
So here's the thing. So I'm going to ask you guys one other question. I'm gonna make some bets here, because I got $25 of each of your money because I destroyed you guys in fantasy basketball.
I knew it. Here we go.
I know. I got to bring it up because I'm the champ.
Okay.
But I will take your $25 and lay it on which day? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We hear that Connor comes out and says that he tried to get this fight, even though we know he didn't. What day do you think it is? I'll put my money. We know it's a lie. We know he's going to steal the spotlight. We know he's going to try to do his whole thing. We know that he's probably an hour before the press conference on Wednesday going to let everyone know that he's going to be at, the New York airport. What is that, JFK? Maybe he'll be like...
I agree with you.
Would
honestly.
you be surprised if he showed up, if they had him show up and allowed us to talk to him? I wouldn't at all, because Wonder Boy's going to be on the show, and Wonder Boy let us know that he's going to be in town for a press conference. So that means something's up.
Yeah. That's the thing. They got him and Darren Till. They'll do a press conference. I just want to know when we think Connor's showing up to steal the spotlight.
I think he'll definitely
he
make
might
a
show up
splash.
this week.
Connor's got to make sure that he's still got his second Floyd fight where he can make some money without actually fighting anyone.
Dude, that's not going to happen. Floyd's not fighting MMA, bro.
The only reason I could see Connor not showing up and making a splash or anything, because that would give the winner of this fight more validation as a champion.
Artem Lobov is fighting this card. Connor is gonna be in the stands.
Connor wasn't at Artem's last fight.
Connor is gonna be at this fight.
I agree with you there. I think he will too, because
I could see it either way. I hope he is, just for the drama in the headlines and the awesome video and comments that will come out of it. But I could also see him not doing it because he thinks maybe this fight is a little bit BS. I don't know.
Well, all I'll say is he better do something because I'm done with him. I'm at 6% right now, so y'all just keep talking to me. I would wish that I could.
No, we're about to be good, but I mean, hell, I just wanted to get your thoughts on obviously that big news, and I mean, hell, at least you still got Rose and Joanna too, and all the rest of the card is still together. At least so far.
This announcement did nothing to temper my excitement. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm still so hyped. I love this fight, even if I wish that this was a fight that we were getting, legitimately with both of them having a training camp. I love this fight. I love the co-main. I think that the UFC did a really good job, and I don't often say that, but this is a fun card, and I'm so hyped. And honestly, Max, do your dance, bro. Do your fucking dance. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. Hey, we appreciate you hopping on, man. We'll let you go. I look forward to you and obviously Kendrick's coverage all week long out there in Brooklyn, man. You guys enjoy that trip.
Can I ask you one question, though?
What's up?
How long a segment are you guys devoting to just me beating your asses in fantasy basketball?
None. Zero. Like the 2 seconds it took me to answer that.
He gets cut
I beat your ass.
He gets cut on that note right there. Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. One of the best fighters in the world. One of the best humans all around and in MMA today. Mr. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Thanks for coming back, Wonderboy.
Anytime, my friend. Anytime. Always have a blast hanging out with you guys.
Hey, did you like your boy's Christmas card, man?
Yeah, man. We got the whole family in town this week. It's Easter Sunday. My brother and his honey, which is Chris Weidman's sister, ended up having a baby a few weeks ago. So we got the whole Weidman family, and we got CJ Weidman. Say what's up, CJ.
What's up?
We got Papa Weidman right here. Chris Weidman. We got Colton Weidman right there. And we got my pops over here hanging out. So we got the whole family in, man.
That's cool, man. How do you balance fighting and family? Because you've been a family guy from day one. Even before you blew up and you're still the same guy. You just got more money now.
That is true. But it's easy when the whole family is involved. I grew up doing the martial arts at the age of 3. My dad fought back in the 70s and 80s. My mom's a 3rd-degree black belt in Kempo karate. They've run a school in Simpsonville for 34 years. My sister was a fighter. My brother-in-law and I got a brother-in-law, Carlos Machado, who married my sister. It's the whole fighting family, so it makes it easy, man. And it's more comfortable when your family's involved. One of the hardest things, I had some fighters, that fought and their family was against it, and it just makes it hard,
Why am I not going?
Give some insight to that news that you told me that you couldn't say, but now it's out there. Give us some insight to what makes you sign the contract, and are you out to prove something? Because it seems like they trying to use you as a stepping stone to build this guy up.
That is true. That's how I'm kind of taking it, to be honest with you. When I first got approached to fight Darren Till, it was right after the Masvidal fight. I ended up. I wasn't really sure if my thumbs were broken, but they ended up being broken. Ended up tearing the ligament in my right thumb, so that was kind of a holdback. And I also, at the same time, wanted to heal up, but I wanted to see where the welterweight division, where was it going? I was ranked number 1. RDA was number 2. You got Colby Covington, and I wanted to kind of see who was going to fight Tyron next. I knew he was going to be out, so there was talk about an interim title, and I wanted to kind of see if my name was going to be put on that list to actually fight for that interim title, But as of now, it looks like that's not happening. I want to stay busy, and what better guy to fight than Darren Till, number 7 ranked guy. And I also want to kind of test myself against, these guys, these new up and comers. These people are saying that the next generation. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. So I want to test myself, man, and prove to everybody that I'm here to stay.
Yeah, man. Last time we had you on the show was episode 28, and I guess it was right around that time because we were kind of trying to confirm or deny the news going around because you're like, no, I'm not fighting no Darren Till, So, and now it's happened, so it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like, oh, maybe the news wasn't true at the time, but I guess things kept going in motion, and here we are. It's going down in Liverpool. Does the fact that you have to go overseas to fight did that kind of give you any hang up or taking the fight whatsoever, or does that not play into it at all?
Well, it did at first. I'm like, here's a guy who's kind of skipping over a lot of people to face the number 1 contender, and fighting in his in his home, in his backyard, right there where he's from in Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, and then it just didn't make sense. But now I was like, you know what? I fought in guys in enemy territory before. I fought Roy McDonald in Canada and Ottawa. And, of course, I hear that the Liverpool fans are like, way more passionate about the fight game and their fighters than the Canadians are. But, I fought in enemy territory before. This is nothing new. And I'm going to go out there and have some fun. Never been to Liverpool as well, so it's going to be a pretty cool experience. We're going to go out there a few days earlier than what the UFC usually brings us out at, and just kind of feel the waters, kind of get used to the time. I think it's 5 hours ahead. But you know what? It doesn't bother me one bit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. I mean, I'm kind of glad we have the matchup because we get to see, I guess, you establish yourself as that number one contender. A win over Till, though, like, what do you think? Like, does that put you immediately in line for another title shot, or do you think you have to get at least another win after that even?
Well, I guess it's on who beats Tyron next or who fights Tyron next. If RDA or Colby Covington gets that next fight, because I think the winner of that fight is going to be facing against Tyron. I guess if they beat them, I think I'll get that next title shot. Yes. If Tyron wins, then I might have to fight maybe one more time to see if I get that next title shot. So it's kind of up in the air right now. And to be honest with you, I'm just along for the ride, man. I love fighting. I do this for the fun of it, and just blessed to be where I'm at. And just like I said, I'm along for the ride, man. The money's just a bonus to me. I love competing, so it don't matter.
How's your Thompson Academy going on out there in North Carolina?
Man, actually South Carolina.
South Carolina.
But it's awesome, man. We stay busy. Being in a small town for 34 years, literally, we have 3 generations of kids coming through there. We have grandkids of grandparents that took back, in their early 80s, man. It's crazy. But we stay busy, man. We got after school programs. We got over 750 students, and it's one big family.
Give some insight to, I didn't tell Matt this. I let him listen to the intro. He listened to the intro.
Oh, to the show.
Wait, which intro?
To the intro to the show. What you think about that?
Oh, I thought it was pretty sick, man. To hear my voice on it, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, bro. I appreciate you putting me out there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Gotta show Wonder Boy some love, man, for coming on the show.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No doubt, man. So, how has training been? I know you're still recovering, from the surgeries and everything. I mean, you've had a couple surgeries over the past couple of years, I guess. So, how's training going heading into this fight?
Oh man, it's great. I mean, to be honest with you, even though my thumbs were injured, I'm always doing something. There's always something that you can do. If it's my knees or if it's my thumbs, or this is the fight game. You're never going to be 100%, but there's always something that you can do to keep your body moving, to keep in shape. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even directly after my Masvidal fight, I was back in the gym training, kicking the bag. I couldn't do anything with my hands, but I was out there working out. So, man, I to be honest, I haven't slowed down. There hasn't been a time where I've been on a break, constantly training. I'm coming into this camp in great shape, which is awesome. I usually start camp 6 weeks out, but I'm coming into camp. I mean, got Chris Weidman in this week, helping me out tremendously. I love having this guy in South Carolina to help me out with this camp. To have a big, strong, good grappler, good stand-up guy. He's very good everywhere. So, man, I'm really confident going into this fight. So, I think as of Monday, we're 8 weeks out, and I can go 5-5s all day. I can do 10-5 right now. 10 5-minute rounds. Let's go.
What the boy Crunk over there? My man Steve Crunk.
What was that? Oh, he can. This guy doesn't stop.
Champ, hey Chris, when you gonna be back in the cage?
So you know what? Since we go back a long time, you're gonna get some breaking news. If anybody cares anymore, this is the first time anybody's gonna hear it. So I had a surgery back after my Gastelum fight. Right there, you can see that scar.
Yeah.
And I've been on the sidelines. I've had some great opportunities offered, and I wasn't able to take them because I was trying to get the hand better. And I pretty much found out that it's not going to get better, that I need to get another surgery. So I'm getting another surgery in about a week and a half. Oh, wow. And it should be like a 2 to 3 month recovery, and then I should be good to go.
But we will
So
see you back.
it's been a tough last 8 months because it's been. I'm getting killed in PUBG over here.
Playing PUBG. This guy, we're PUBGing it up right now. We're PUBGing it up. Look at this guy. CJ over here watching. We're addicted, man.
Wow. Chris Weidman coming through with some breaking news on the show, man. That's incredible.
Man.
We hope you get better, man. I hope you're back in the cage.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, he's got what, 3? Did you say 3 months? 3-month recovery.
Yeah, 3 months. Yeah.
3 months recovery, but he's in great shape going into this into surgery. Yeah, he hadn't stopped. He's been training going into surgery, so that way, the healing time is faster. And it's crazy going into surgery, being in shape helps with healing time like crazy, man. I've had 4 knee surgeries on my left and 2 on my right.
Yeah.
And after my first surgery, I wasn't in shape at all, and it took the longest time to recover. Every other surgery that I've had, I've been in great shape, training every day, two times a day, and the healing time was just unbelievable.
Wow.
With Till being a pressure fighter, is that something you want to show? Because people always say you pressure Wonder Boy, you get him.
Everybody that I face, I guess it's with my style. I don't know what it is. Most of the guys that I've faced have pressured me. The only person that hasn't was Tyron. I mean, you had Johnny Hendricks, you had Jake Ellenberger, who are, most of the guys that I faced were grapplers as well, wrestlers, even Rory McDonald. He's kind of very good everywhere, but I knew he was going to really try hard to get me down to the ground. Mm-hmm. So these last 2 fights that I've had, the one with Masvidal and the one coming up, I've been really excited about it because these guys are stand-up guys. This is kind of my forte, which is the striking. Of course, I train jiu-jitsu and wrestling every day, religiously, because I know eventually when I step out there, these guys are going to want to get me down to the ground. So I've been really excited about the fight with Masvidal. I'm really excited about this fight with Darren Till because these guys are stand-up fighters. And I just love the chess game, to be honest with you.
Give us some insight. What does a fighter go through to fight injury? I know did you hear about the UFC breaking news?
About what?
About 223. Ferguson got hurt. They're bringing in Max to fight Habib.
No.
This Saturday
is that an April Fool's
No,
thing?
it's not.
That's not real. I can't. I can't even pull off April Fool like that.
It is real.
It's real. It's the real deal. Dana White is on video saying it. It's for real. It's legit. It's been on ESPN.
We saw it. We thought it was like an April Fool's thing. I mean, Max Holloway? So he's going up in weight.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. To fight Khabib.
Yes.
Yours truly will be there. I wish you'd be out there with the kicking.
Man, I wish I was there. I will actually be in Brooklyn Thursday there's a press conference, I believe, going on, but I won't be able to stick around for the fight. I'm kind of bummed about that.
Hit me up, man.
All right, I got you, man. I got you. So we'll be there for the presser, man. It's going to be fun, but I'm not going to be able to stick around and watch the fight. But I got to hand it to you, man. Max Holloway is a stud, man. For him to go up in weight class and fight a guy like Khabib is just, for the fans, that's hats off to the guy, man. That guy's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy news, man. I thought it was April Fool's, but Brett Okamoto was on the breaking news side of it, and he was sitting there with Dana White, had a video posted up ESPN. It's legit. Everybody's confirmed it. It's real. And
what happened to Tony Ferguson?
So that's the weird part. Apparently, he got hurt doing media obligations. He turned. Apparently, the story is he turned quickly to say hi to somebody, and he tripped and fell and hurt his knee. Not the videos of him kicking steel pipes doesn't hurt himself, but him just turning to say hi to somebody.
Turns around. So how many? Do y'all know how many times these guys have tried to fight?
4.
4 times, and it still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
That is crazy. That is nuts, right? You can see how focused this guy is when it comes to PUBG.
We're practicing for later. We won 2 chicken dinners in a row.
Yeah, we did get 2 chicken dinners last night. I don't know if you guys are familiar with PUBG, but it is amazing. I know everybody's talking about Fortnite. I'm not a Chris, I haven't played Fortnite yet, but
I haven't either.
We're gaming it up right now this whole weekend, so it's going to be fun. But yeah, they fought. They tried to have this fight 4 times.
4 times fell through.
What?
Every time. I was mad it got taken off at 209 because I was actually out there for 209. Obviously, when you fought Tyron for the second time, and I was unfortunately got taken away. Now Kendrick's going all the way out there. It's getting taken away from him again. It sucks, but
Man, hats off to Max Holloway, man. I hope they give that guy like a bonus for just stepping up.
I'm sure they did.
Because not everybody would want to step up there and fight Khabib, man. Khabib is a beast, and you saw what he did to Barbosa, man. Or is it Barbosa? Yeah.
Barbosa.
Yeah. It was he just killed him, man. I felt bad for the guy, but at the same time, I was like, don't tap. Do not tap to those strikes. Just eat him, man. Just you know what I mean? And he did. I was happy for the guy that the guy did not tap or the ref didn't stop. He manned up and just took it like a man. You know, that was awesome.
Yeah. So, Steven, I got to get your reactions to this. I saw this article on MMA NYTT. Woodley was talking about you a little bit during the Q&A, and he kind of gave some props, and then kind of threw a little bit of shade, called you a gatekeeper, saying you got to get through you to get to the title. So I mean,
well, that's because that title is going to be mine one day. I mean, these guys are coming up to get that. You know, I look at it. I'm always been a positive person, and I look at it as a compliment. To be honest with you, I don't mind it being called that gatekeeper because nobody's passing me. I'm not going to let anybody pass me. There's nobody going to be coming up. It's going to be me going to be fighting for that title again. If it's against Tyrant again, oh well, it's against Tyrant again. And he knows that I'm the toughest guy right now in the division. So I look at it as a compliment, to be honest with you. I know everybody they don't like being called the gatekeeper, but I fought him twice. The first fight, we got fight of the night. It was a draw. He ended up winning the second fight, but it was very, very close.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up on that title. I mean, I'm 35 years old. I like to consider myself a young 35, and I'm going to do this as long as my body will let me. And I'm bringing that. It's going to happen. I'm bringing that title back home.
I think it's a little bit different to be a gatekeeper when you got a number 1 next to your name versus a gatekeeper that's like fringe top 15, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That is true. That is true. That does help.
Does either one of those Tyrant fights, I won't say haunt you because you're always a positive guy just by nature, but do you think back on that, or you're just kind of like it's done, it's over?
I always do, man. There's always fights that I go back and I could have done better on. It could have been a first round knockout. I knocked a guy in the first round. I fought Whitaker. I'm like, right after the fight, I could have done this. I could have done that. The first fight I thought was just epic, man. That was probably one of my favorite fights that I've had. The second fight, we kind of knew each other. I didn't expect him to come out like that. He just backing up. He is very explosive. I thought I had it. I thought I had to win, but it is what it is. He did end up knocking me down the 5th round, ended up punching me in the back of the head, and I go down. That's how I ended up tearing my MCL on that one. When I went down, I don't know if you go back and watch that, I ended up my right knee ended up folding in, tore my ACL. I mean my MCL, and I had to have surgery on it.
The first?
Oh yeah, the second Tyrant fight.
Oh, the second. To tell me this in the first fight, like it looked like you were out, like that. I could give it going second or third round. So how do you recover so fast? Because say for instance you did go out, you recovered like I've never seen before in that 1 minute time. How'd you recover that quick?
Thank goodness I was blessed with a hard head, I guess. And with my style, I don't. Of course, nobody likes getting hit, so I don't get hit a lot. For those guys that go out there and just kind of walk out of the middle and bang it out, their chin doesn't last very long. And I guess since I don't get hit very often, I still have I still have my chin. Even at this age, and you got guys who've been fighting since they were 19, and now they just barely get clipped and they go out. But I got smoked. It was the 4th round. I ended up getting smoked, man. Twice. It was like one threat right after the next. He hit me with the right hand. I went down, popped right back up. Hits me again. I literally go down with looked like I seized up. My face was like, when I went down, my face seized up, man. It was hilarious. I hate it when people show it because I'm like cracking up. And then I get back up in a guillotine. I'm in this deep guillotine. He's trying to pop my head off, but I'm literally thinking to myself, all these people came to watch me fight. I'm not going to tap, And as soon as I said that, I literally said it just like I'm saying it right now. I said that out there during the fight. I could feel his arms start to get tired, and I knew I'm just going to wait for his arms to tire out. And when I popped my head out, dude, the place erupted.
I was there.
like, what is going on?
Yeah. I was there.
It was crazy, man. So, yeah, man, that was one of my favorite. People ask me that all the time. Like, how did you breathe? I was like, it's a secret technique. You got to learn to breathe out of your butthole. That ninja technique. Chris showed me how to do that.
I'm great with the butthole technique.
we get breaking news and inside news.
Yeah, man.
No kidding. That's crazy. Oh my God, yeah, man. It's one of those things, man. I hope we get to see a third matchup because I thought the first two fights were intriguing. Obviously, I think this fight against Till is intriguing for a lot of different reasons. I mean, going over to Liverpool, man. You plan on stealing a lot of Liverpool fans from Darren Till?
You know, I hear the Liverpool fans are very hardcore and they're very gung ho with their fighters. You know, from there.
Oh my God.
I don't think I'll win over anybody, but I do think I'll be coming home with some new fans. Of course, they'll be always be cheering for their boy from Liverpool, and I think that's cool, man. That you know the Irish, the guys from Europe, they're so excited about their fighters from there, you know. And everybody, you don't get that kind of love from in America.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I guess because I have no idea. To be honest with you, why do you think that is, Chris?
Don't put that on me. I've answered this before and I got killed on it.
I have no idea. I don't know if it's just because you have so many different people from different nationalities, different countries, all in one area. You know, we have students that train with us, and they're from Brazil, and they are so gung ho with their Brazilian fighters.
Right.
We have some people that train with us that are from Ireland. They're the same with Conor McGregor and those guys from Ireland. But I don't know why that is, man. You don't get the same love, and I wish you did. You know.
Steve, give me some insight on this. We know you knocked out Robert Whittaker. Do you ever be sitting around, man, I could go up to 185?
Man, when I sit here and I spar with this guy right here, there is no way that I can go to 185.
Nice.
No, I'm not, man. It's true. These guys walk around, the heaviest I've ever gotten was 205. And I have a buddy of mine who actually trained this. We actually became friends a few years after the Robert Whittaker fight. And he said Robert Whittaker would walk around like 210, 215 and cut to 170.
Yeah.
It would take him, like a few months to do it, but he would do it. And the heaviest I've ever been was 205. And that was before the Matt Brown fight. And that weight cut almost killed me. Like, I was done. I remember 30 seconds in the first round, I was like, my legs were gone. So for me to go up in that weight, I would really have to put on some muscle. And I don't know, man. He's always walked around very big. He's got a big frame. We're pretty much the same size. But if I stood next to him, he was just thick, man. He was a thicker 170. So he always said the weight cut was always a struggle. And I was impressed when he moved up to 185, man. I really was. But I don't ever see myself going up to 185. I would have to really make some changes in my camp and my weight cut and putting on some weight, muscular wise. So I don't see myself doing it.
Now would that just be just for Whittaker, or let's say if he has a title fight lined up and the same situation that we just had with 223 happens, and Whittaker's opponent falls out? I mean, you've been in there with him before, so
yeah.
Would you be willing to step in weeks notice, hey, yeah, I'll get in there against Whittaker again?
If first off, if nobody in the 185 division, they were sick or they had all died in a plane, maybe.
Because you got to go defend that thing, right?
But because that would be the only way I would do it. You know what I mean? It'd be the only way I would do it.
Dang.
But I'm like in that.
For the right money.
You think so?
100% you would.
I don't know. If I
beat
did
him again, what's he gonna do?
Okay, no. The thing is, let's say if I get it, there's no way I'm fighting you. I would get.
I would not fight you ever.
I wouldn't fight you. I would not fight. I have to fight this guy right here. What would that would be like? Would you take it easy on me?
But you know what? One of the boys just take it easy.
No. I would just be like, yeah, we'll fight. We'll talk before the fight.
I'll try to go back.
Just don't ground and pound. Just like slip me in a choke and I'll pretend I go out.
Lay out some ground rules.
Yeah. Before the fight, we'll go over some ground rules.
Find out.
There you go. Hey, I mean, you know, crazy things can happen in this game, you know.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I don't think you and Chris would be something that a lot of. I mean, I don't know, man. You guys are two good guys. I don't think that a lot of people would like to see you guys fight each other for real.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, it would never happen. We're family members.
We're family members
Unless
now.
they paid us a lot of money.
Yeah, like tons of money.
And we're allowed to fake like we're fighting, and everybody knows we're not.
Like a WWE type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Like a halftime show. We'll do it.
Make it happen at WrestleMania. There you go. I'm not too good at talking crap because I get nervous. You know what I mean? Oh, you're just like Ronda.
CJ, what are you doing, CJ? CJ, you're right there, bro. He's like,
hey, you know
this guy. Right,
don't you fight too, CJ? Do you wrestle?
He's the future. He did a wrestling tournament the other day, and did he pin like everybody? He pinned everybody.
Oh wow!
Congrats, CJ.
Congrats, man.
And did he go up?
Up a weight.
He went up a weight and everything. He went and just pinned everybody. This guy's a stud. That's why he's got like 3 girlfriends.
He got the wrestling gene then.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got Chris Weidman in his corner. You have Ray Longo in his corner. You had John Vellante there.
Oh,
he had the whole UFC roster in his corner.
Wow.
I would not want to go up against him either, man. His opponents were probably freaking out.
What are the parents looking like? What are the parents looking like when they see?
He ain't fair. He got UFC
that. What are the parents looking at? They're like, oh my god, you got Chris over there. You got Ray Longo. You got Vellante. Yeah. And nobody talks crap.
Of course not.
Their kids get pinned and they just, all right, it's okay, honey. They just walk off. No, and they're just like yelling back.
Yeah. You said that too casually, so that must be really how it goes.
That's wild, man. Yeah. Dude, man, I tell you what, man, I can't wait for this fight, man. May 27th. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope everybody gets there and safe and sound and no issues like we had this week. And, man, thanks for coming on the show for the second time, brother.
Anytime, brother. I'm telling you guys, anytime. If you want to be back on closer to fight time or even after, let me know. I'm down, my friend. I'm down.
Yeah. Well, he definitely hit you closer to fight time. Hey, and then when you win, you got to come back on because we got our 2018 segment. That's what you came on the first time.
Let's go. I'm down, baby. Let's go.
For sure. We'll hit up
and we'll get Chris on. We'll get Chris on too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Appreciate you. Now we got that number straight, man. I've been trying to catch you for the last 6 months.
Oh, you just think I'm big time, and you don't. You guys big time, man.
Here's a little insight though, Steve. Most people pick up when I call, but like 4 or 5 people have it, and 4 of those 5 people has lobster the next time they fight. I'm just saying, that's the stats.
I picked up, man. I picked up.
All right.
That's
the voodoo dial.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys, man. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, brother. We'll holler at you again soon.
All right, my friend. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. Staying with the theme, returning to the game, Mr. Neil Magny. Neil, thanks for joining us again, man. Tell us what you got. You got some news you got to tell us, man.
Yeah, I finally got a fight booked. I'm fighting Gunnar Nelson May 27th in Liverpool, England.
Yes, sir. That's exciting, man. So, Liverpool, obviously the first time UFC is going over there. Have you been to Liverpool for one, and how do you prepare to take a fight like that overseas?
So no, this is the first time going to England in general. I always wanted to fight in England. I always assumed it was going to be in London at the O2 Arena, but here I am going to Liverpool, England. I mean, I'm super excited for it. I mean, it gives me an opportunity to go out there and really put on a show for the fans and go out there and earn what I want next.
How far do you think you will be out there? How far in advance do you plan on being out there to get used to the time and all that good stuff?
So I traveled for a lot of my fights overseas, and I don't really feel like I need a long time to adjust to the time zone. So I'll probably be out there maybe 5 or 6 days before the fight or so, just to get acclimated, make sure I have the right foods I need to cut weight, that kind of thing. But not too long at all before the fight.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your opponent, Gunnar Nelson. I mean, he's a guy that's going to have a lot of fans behind him out there, and obviously his claim to fame, is the very, very elite grappling that a lot of people, expect out of him. Kind of similar to like a Damian Maia, but a different style. So it's like, how are you kind of looking back, reflecting on how that fight against Maia looked, or preparation wise, what's the differences there when you're studying these opponents?
For me, this is one of those things that adds to the excitement. I mean, I see a guy like Gunnar Nelson who has a majority of his wins come by way of submission, and I look at myself with where majority of my losses have come by submission. For me, it just gives that motivation to go in the gym and just kind of become a better athlete, become a better grappler in order for me to go out there and put on a show. I'm not going to focus too much on his specific game and what he does, but pretty much focus on what I need to do in order to be successful in that fight. I'm looking forward to going into this fight and actually challenging myself with him on the ground and seeing how I stand with him there. So that's the kind of thing that excites me going into this fight.
Yeah, so after that fight with Maia, you actually were training with him. That was like one of the famous things that when it hit the internet, like afterwards you guys were training together. Have you tried to hit him up for this fight, or are you gonna just work with your team that you've been working with?
For most of them, I'm just stick with my team. David Maia is a hard guy to track down. I mean, when he's not fighting, he's spending a lot of time with his family. He's traveling all around the world doing seminars, that kind of thing. So if he's not in a training camp himself, he's kind of a hard guy to like put in one spot and keep there for a long time. So I'm just gonna stick with the home team for this one. We'll probably bring a couple of training partners if we need to, but for the most part, just stick with the home team.
Gotcha. Will you be out in Brooklyn this weekend coming up?
No, I wish I was able to go. I mean, I've been on the road a lot this year, and now that I finally have a fight coming up, I'm making it a point to stay home and just kind of focus on this fight. I've literally spent every weekend on the road except for like 4 weekends since the year started. So I'm looking forward to spend some time at home this weekend.
Gotcha. Did you hear the news?
The news that came out on April Fool's Day, yeah. I heard about it, but I'll wait till tomorrow and see what really happened.
Right? I mean, hey, that's the thing, right? Apparently it's real, though. Apparently it's real, but,
if you look at my Instagram, I'm fighting Robbie Lawler at UFC 200, so so you never know.
Yeah, it would be the most elaborate April Fool's joke I've seen in a while, so if that's what it is, then, hey, kudos to everybody involved, but...
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely putting their part in it. I mean, you got the media following up with it. You got the UFC, you got Dana White, everyone's getting out there. So they're putting a lot of effort behind this April Fool's joke. I mean, I don't necessarily buy it too much. I mean, I haven't heard anything from El Krakoy yet, so I don't really buy it yet.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, obviously the Liverpool's shaken up to be a pretty big weekend for the welterweight division. Obviously, your fight against Gunnar Nelson, the main event between Wonder Boy and Darren Till. I mean, obviously, like, what's your take on the shape of the division right now? And obviously, a win over Nelson, like, where do you think that puts you in line for a title shot?
I think it just sets the stage for me. When I'm looking back, looking at this entire week going into this fight, there's a lot of things that are lining up for me. I mean, within a week, you have 6 welterweights out there fighting, all within the top 10 or pretty close to the top 10. So for me, it sets the stage to go out there and pretty much outperform every last one of those guys. And I know if I go out there and do that, then pretty much what comes next for me is pretty much like the sky's the limit. I mean, there's just so many things that can come out from a good performance, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I mean, at the end of the day, you have Ponzinibbio fighting Usman. You have Till versus Wonder Boy. You have all these great fights coming up. For me, I want to be the best fighter of all 6 of these guys, myself included. So I just go out there and outperform everyone. That's just my goal at this point.
Absolutely.
Man, with a stage this like for this not to be a pay-per-view though, do you ever change your mentality versus pay-per-view or not, or when you fight, or it just you and that guy?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't even take it like me versus that guy. I mean, at this point, it's about me going out there and putting on that amazing performance that I know I can. I mean, when I look at my last fight, I did get a win over Carlos Condit, but when I look at that fight, it doesn't really suit me too well. It was like, oh wow, that was an amazing fight where people be talking about it for years and years to come. I feel like that was the fight where it's like, yeah, I went in there, I won, but that's not the fight that got people out of their seats. I want to put on a fight like I did against Hector Lombard, where people were talking about it years and years after the fact. That's the kind of performance that I'm chasing. That's what I'm motivated about.
Gotcha. Do you still feel like you kind of the underdog? Because like now that you beat Carlos, I remember coming to Carlos. Only me and my boy Matt were pulling for you at Slip Dip Podcast that picked you, in the media, and then once you beat Carlos, well, he's kind of old and he's more closer out the game. It's like they didn't give you your full credit, and you did something that people haven't been able to do. Does that just add to you? And are you gonna come with that Mike Tyson? We like the little Mike Tyson thing on your Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This adds fuel to the fire. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't really be upset with anyone else but myself that I didn't get the recognition that I thought I deserved after that fight. I mean, if I went out there and pretty much beat the brakes off of him and made it like just pretty much show that he didn't belong in the cage with me at all, I'm pretty sure the conversation after the fight would have been much different. But I made it a little too close to comfort, and that didn't sit too well with me. So going this fight with Gunnar Nelson, I want to really go out there and outperform not only him but all the other welterweights that are fighting within that week.
Absolutely, yeah, man. Like I said, it is a big weekend, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's going to be a pivotal weekend for the division. Obviously, so many different things can happen. We could see some fresh matchups. Let's say if Tyron comes out and says he's got another injury and he's on the shelf, we could see an interim title fight, and who knows who could be thrown into it. So it's like you said, like we'll see tomorrow. Obviously, if this news isn't April Fool's stuff, but hey, who knows? After Liverpool, we could see you potentially in an interim title shot. It's just one of those crazy things in the sport right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes down to it, one of the things that get guys to the next level, get the guys that title shot, is not just winning, but winning impressively. And that's the one thing that I can go out there and try to control.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you kind of told us before we went on air, you're hanging out, sitting in the car, you're trying to get a little dip out of family event. So, what you got going on?
It's a Seder dinner. So, my fiance is Jewish, and they do like a Passover celebration every year. That's kind of what she has going on right now. So I'm out here wearing my little yarmulke and enjoying the dinner with them. But it's a pretty cool event. It's probably my fourth time going to it with her. So it's been something that's kind of been growing to a little bit of tradition for us. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And we definitely appreciate you coming on Easter Sunday with us for sure.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
For sure.
Do you think your name's getting out there the way you want to, or you still got some way to pave that way so that you walk around people? I know you're not a big attention guy, but I guess it's got to make you feel good to have people stop you for what you've been doing in the cage versus people like most people want you to take pictures for them like you told us last time.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It feels good to realize that the hard work is definitely paying off. But like I was saying earlier, that has more motivation. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody else. If I'm not getting the recognition I deserve, if I'm not getting recognized as much as I feel like I could be, it's all up to me. I need to give the fans and the people a fight that they can remember and a fight they don't appreciate, and that's what I'm trying to control.
And so, looking at your Instagram, you had this split screen picture of you throwing your jab and Tommy Hitman Hearns throwing the jab. So it looks very similar. But did you watch the Joshua fight this weekend?
No, I couldn't catch it. I was training with a couple of guys up in the mountains this weekend, so I couldn't get around to catching that fight.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering, because he stuck behind the jab the entire fight, and of course a lot of other interesting events happened in the fight. But I was kind of just wondering if you're trying to give us a little hint that you're working behind the jab a little bit more going forward.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we look at a jab that's that long, I mean, if I use it as my main tool, I mean, it's gonna make anybody's day miserable. I mean, I'd be an idiot not to use that tool that's God given to me. I mean, I have the longest reach in my division. If I'm not jabbing fools from across the cage, I'm doing something wrong. So I think we're perfecting that jab, making it as sharp as possible.
So, if you make the fight easy but didn't get the finish, would you be just as happy as getting the war and then finding some way to finish him? Which one would you prefer if you had to pick?
So going to this fight, I'm looking at a performance like Khabib had in his last fight, where he just went out there and it wasn't a moment in the fight where he was pretty much in any kind of risk, any kind of danger. He pretty much went out there and dominated the entire fight from beginning to end. That's the kind of fight that I'm looking to go out there and put. I mean, if it ends up being that he's going to keep up for 1 round or 2 rounds, that's up to him. But I'm ready to go all 3 rounds and put a pace on him that he's not willing to stand there and take. So I'm just looking to dominate this fight from beginning to end.
Absolutely, man. You kind of said something interesting there, like obviously like using your reach. If you don't do that, it's kind of like not smart. We see a lot of tall, rangy guys in the UFC that don't utilize their reach like they should.
Kids.
I wouldn't say like, I mean, like there's a lot of guys that have the advantage of reach, I mean,
they cut it in half.
Yeah, they cut it in half. They don't, use the long jabs. They don't use the long reach. So, I mean, why is that, man? Why is that? Why do you guys not do that?
I think when it comes down to it, like in boxing, it's easy to use the jab because all you have is your hands. I mean, there's not many other tools to utilize there. But now when you're thinking about wrestling, you're thinking about elbows, you're thinking about knees, you're thinking about all these other things. I mean, it makes it a little bit. You get a little eager to want to use those other tools. I mean, myself included. I mean, there are certain times I want to smother a guy just so I can throw knees and clinch him up a little bit. So it kind of like takes away from the jab. But at the end of the day, if I can go into a fight and touch a guy up and throw 100 punches to his 20 or whatever it may be, then why not do it that way? I mean, that's something that I can work on in the gym and pretty much prolong my career from not taking much damage because I'm using that jab so well. So that's definitely something that's sticking in my mind a lot more now that I'm approaching 30 and fights get more and more intense now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's frustrating. I mean, just being a guy watching from the sides, it's like, got a 10-inch reach advantage over this guy. Why are you not utilizing that? But it's one of those things. I mean, I guess as the sport continues to evolve and guys get a little bit more smarter, guys like that have that mentality that you have. It's like, prolonging your career, not taking that much damage. Like, hey, here are my advantages. Let me use them.
For sure. I mean, it's time and time again. I mean, I've seen fights where a guy has the other guy rocked, and the guy who rocked the other guy is the guy going for the takedown. Like, he's on his toes. He's 2 more punches to finish the fight. But yeah, the guy who rocked the other guy is one initiating the takedown or initiating the ground position, allowing the other guy to recover. I mean, it is a bit frustrating. At times when you're in the fight, I know certain emotions come over you, or you're not able to see certain things at the moment, and that can affect it. But yeah, man, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think more guys should be using their tools and making the fights a little bit easier on themselves.
Oh yeah, man. Couldn't agree more. It's one of the most frustrating things for me.
Do you think he's gonna be gun shy after getting knocked out?
No, not at all. I mean, I think he's gonna come out and feel like he has something to prove. I mean, I feel like he might feel like he was robbed in his last fight because of the alleged eye poke and that kind of thing, and I feel like he has something taken away from him. And here I am being the guy coming to his home territory trying to take something from him. I think he's gonna come out pretty fired up, trying to put on a show for the crowd and pretty much steal the show from everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, being in that crowd, man, that atmosphere, it's going to be electric for him. Not only him, obviously, Darren Till in the main event. There's going to be a first event out there. I think he's going to carry a little bit of that weight, into the octagon with him. But I agree, man. I think he's going to come out there and try to make a statement. So
for sure. I mean, I'm coming up. I'm going to make a statement. I can imagine what he's going through right now.
Exactly.
Hey man, you got me calling. Matt knows. Usually, unless it's a pay-per-view, I sometimes only watch the card live. I watch every fight because that's what we do. We professionals, but I don't watch them live. I'm watching this one live. That's how I pump people like you and Wonder Boy, who's also on the show this week. But y'all got me hyped. I'm watching this card live.
That's awesome, dude. I got something to prove that. That'll be great.
Yeah. We did have Steven on the episode as well, on this episode as well. So who do you like in that fight between him and Till?
To be honest with you, I'm in that position now where being a welterweight with all these welterweight fights coming up, I don't want to be the guy that's going to pick and choose how this fight's going to go or who's going to win. I actually hope both guys come out and pretty much give their best. I mean, I want them to put on an amazing show. I'm going to go out there and try to do the same. And I want the fans at the end to decide, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna see Neil fight so and so and make it a contender match. I want to see this happen. Like, that's what I'm hoping to happen with all these welterweight fights being lined up so close to each other.
Are we gonna see you if you gonna do what we know you're gonna do and you get your hand raised? Are we gonna see you call somebody out, do something that we hadn't seen you do before to try to generate some buzz? Hey, I know that's not your personality, but I know you like that check too.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Right now, I'm pretty fired up with my career and trying to get things going. I mean, I might just call somebody out at the end of this one. I mean, at the end of the day, closed mouths don't get fed. So I definitely need to speak up and go out there and get what I want.
There you go, man. There you go. It's so true. So true. We're in the entertainment era of MMA, So you gotta have that aspect too.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, Neil, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate you coming on Easter Sunday, jumping in the car for a little bit to rap to us, escaping the family for a little bit. But we'll let you get back to him, man. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, and when you ball, you will get that call.
What was that? Sorry.
I said, when you ball, you will get that call. We'll hit you up once you get that dub and get that hand raised.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd definitely be back in the show after that win.